everybody? Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. What I've got for you is a little overview walkthrough of a little project, a 3D printing project that I did for my wood carving tools. So they were just kind of laying around, kind of creating a hazard. So I decided I would create a box or a holder to try and keep them in. If you enjoy the video, if you like what you see, maybe leave a like. It would really help me out since I'm brand new and trying to grow. Every like or comment I can get really helps me out. Also, if you like what you see, make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on the next thing that I decide to make. That's all for now. Hope you enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. So I have these carving tools, and currently they're just laying on a table in my living room, which is kind of starting to become a hazard. I decided that my next 3D printing project would be these carving tools. To start the process for designing this box, I actually went into a program called Tinkercad, and I played around in there, came up with a good format or a good view of what I thought it was going to look like, and then I decided to take that drawing over to FreeCAD. And so in FreeCAD, I had a general idea of what I wanted this to look like. I knew I wanted it to be two pieces. I wanted it to be a top and a bottom, and then I wanted it to kind of be connected by something. I didn't really know what at that point. I measured my carving tools, and I found out that the thickest one was 30 millimeters across, so a 30 millimeter diameter. So I decided to make all of my holes that size, and it worked out nicely to have 4 across. So 8 total in the box, 4 and 4. I didn't know how big I wanted the total box to be, so it just kind of happened. I laid all 4 circles out, which were 30 millimeters across, and I knew I wanted to have 5 millimeters of space in between each of the holes. So once I designed all of that, it ended up being 145 millimeters long. That's just what we went with. That wasn't part of the plan, just kind of happened that way. So I have the top drawn and I have everything spaced out. The next thing to do would be to draw the bottom. I initially drew circles in the bottom too, but on the test print, whenever I would put the knives in the hole, it kind of like moved around too much in the bottom. In my new design, I decided to put squares and like some walls in there so that whenever you put the knives in, they weren't gonna all run into each other or bounce around or whatever. It was just more sturdy. So in this design, I have all of these squares in the bottom. And then to hold it all together, I knew that once I had a top and I had a bottom, there had to be something to support or something to hold it together. I initially started out with 6 notches, and I called them notches. I don't really know what you would call them. So I initially had 6, but I took out 4 of them, the 4 corners, and I left it with just a right side and a left side. And it still stood up and it felt sturdy, so I decided in my new drawing, I would have only 2 supports. I would have one on the left, one on the right, and I made them a little thicker to try and add just a little bit more support since I was only down to 2 compared to the 6 that I had before. Alright, so now we can talk about the 3D printing just a little bit. So if I would have done this right the first time, this would have been finished in about 11 or 12 hours, but since I had to reprint this again, it took me about 23 or 24 total hours of print time. Now, this thing prints kind of slow, but I mean, what can you expect? It's like literally creating things out of nothing. So I think 13 hours is pretty solid. So there you go. I've got my knife holder and I've got all my knives ready to go. Not sure what my next project will be, but whatever it is, I'll see you there.